Clay, you're an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. And as they say in Stoic, the obstacle is the way. And so if you let these pinheads get in your way, you're in trouble. Acta non verba is the motto of the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy at Kings Point, New York. I had appointments to Naval Academy and Kings Point Merchant Marine Academy. And Merchant Marine Academy's motto was acta non verba. In other words, don't listen to what a person says. Watch what they do. Clay, my honor to be on your show. And thank you for all you do. I hear the ripple effects from you are good ripple effects. You know what I mean? People rave about what they learned from you. So congratulations.
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas. We have probably grown probably 5 times. We've added, I think when we first started with you, we had 60 to 65 employees. And now we have a little over 300 employees. Before we got involved with Thrive Time, we didn't really have any systems or processes in place. I've probably been to, in 6, 7 years, I've probably been to 12 to 13 business conferences. And amazingly, each time I go, I learn something new, and I'm so excited to bring it back and show the team about marketing and how to implement, how to help you guys implement the SEO. And the coaching is just great because there's accountability, and it's just a fantastic way to grow your company. Having a relationship with Thrive Time it's just been amazing for MultiClean. Oh my goodness, it frees me up because then I don't have to take a class on search engine optimization or learn marketing or shoot video. That's not what we do. What we do is commercial janitorial service. And you guys are the experts on marketing, and you teach me and hold my hand and show me how to do it right. And therefore, now my company is much, much larger.
Folks, on today's show, we're joined by a real client. He may look like a male model. He may look like a hologram, but he's a real person. He's a longtime client. He's a man that we consider to be a friend of the Thrive Time Show and a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Kevin. Welcome on to the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Clay, I'm doing great. Had a great Christmas holiday, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, so first question, can you tell us what is your name, first and last name, and what's the name of your company, sir?
My name is Kevin Thomas, and the name of our company is MultiClean. We are a commercial janitorial service, and we serve the entire state of Oklahoma and Kansas and soon to be Arkansas.
And how long have we worked with you approximately at this point, sir?
It's been about 6, 7 years.
It doesn't make a lot of sense if you try to save America if Americans are not doing better. America is not just a better place to come and get a job. America is a good place to start a company that creates jobs for others to do better. Whether you own one, you're thinking about it, you want to eventually, or you do business with businesses, you got to know more about them and how they work.
That's got to fit just about everybody right
there.
I
know.
That's most
true.
People. We have the author of more books than most people have read, and one of my favorites is called How to Build a Successful Business, the one that only Mr. Clay Clark.
Thank you guys for allowing me to be here with you. And Dave, I hope we can speak life and encouragement into somebody's life out there. If you own a business or you want to, I would like to unpack today some specific moves that everybody can use to make more money now, Dave.
Well, can't wait.
And if it's encouragement and kind words and motivation, that's good. You know, if not, it may be irritation. Because I think there's probably a lot of people that have had this idea, and this happens to a lot of people. They'll think of something, and this should do this, or somebody should be doing that, and then a little bit of time goes by, and somebody does that. Mm-hmm. And I think God sometimes just like blows dandelion seeds out over the world, and like some people grab them, some people don't. And there's people watching today that I know. if they knew there was a pathway and there was a way to be engaged in business, they probably take action on the ideas that they have. That they have a 9 to 5 right now, maybe they're 5 to 9, could be doing something else in addition, and they have an idea, they have something that's put on their heart that they need to take action on. So whether it's irritation or motivation, either one, I think this is going to help our listeners.
So good.
Yeah. This particular topic we're talking about today, how to optimize the website or how to increase your conversion rate on your website. I just want people to know the research that went into today's show over the years. There's a website called bruceclay.com. He's the author of Search Engine for Dummies. I once paid Bruce $8,000 a month minimum for multiple years. That's bruceclay.com. Also, there's a company called SEO Inc. Gary Grant is the founder of that company. I once paid them north of $5,000 a month. These are real people. You can look them up, and you too could pay this much money if you want to. There's also a book called, again, it's called The Honest Seduction. It's a book written on how to build rapport with people on your website. Again, Search Engine for Dummies. I'm just mentioning these because I want people to understand these aren't theories I've come up with. These are real moves that you can use. And I'm going to give you some examples that are both national and local. So step number one, before we get into our stack of stuff here, is you have to have a problem that you can solve. And Stacey, I was talking to a woman yesterday who's from Venezuela. She migrated here legally. Her husband, her and her husband, they live here, and they both migrated legally. And they've been listening to shows, different broadcasts, and it occurred to them that they too could probably start a successful business. And they are both school teachers. And they've never ever started a business before. And they called me and they said, hey, if you were us, how would you recommend that we become self-employed? And I said, well, step number one, I want you to make a list of the problems that you can solve. And so I'm assuming if you're watching today's show, we're kind of working on the idea that there is a problem that you believe you can solve. But Stacey, you are an eternal optimist. You're also an entrepreneur. You and Dave have been doing this thing for many years. What do you say to somebody who's watching today's show, before we get into the technical aspects of search engine, who thinks, I don't have what it takes to become an entrepreneur. I don't maybe know of a problem that I could solve. What do you say to them?
Well, I just say that, different things that maybe catch your eye, as you go by and you're like, maybe it causes a frustration in you. I really do believe that God's equipped you to make a difference in that area. And I would just say, looking for those things that maybe bother you, things that maybe other people never even notice, you are equipped to make a difference. And then once you identify that problem, I do know the very perfect coach. It is Clay Clark. I've never seen anybody that's more gifted and anointed for business and helping others to be able to achieve success like Clay Clark. So it's finding that problem, you having the solution, and then Clay Clark coaching you, because that is a perfect combination.
If there was a problem, he'll solve it.
Ooh, that was really good.
Classic.
Dave, this is the answer I gave this lady yesterday. I said, listen, let's make a list of this is a free 13-point assessment. We did it at thrivetimeshow.com. This is an actual call we did. And we went over an inventory of all the problems she can solve. Well, we found out her and her husband own hundreds of acres of land that's heavily wooded in a state where there's deer prevalent. And I go, couldn't you just rent out your land for hunting? And she's going, yeah, I've never thought about that. And then I go, do you have any land you could rent out for pasture? And she said, actually we do. So we started going over that list. I said, is there anybody in your community that cleans the homes or cleans the lakefront properties that are near you? She's going, how would I start a home cleaning company? And so I'm just saying, with this lady, with everyone we talk to, I've yet to ever have a call, and I mean this ever, with anybody ever, where you can't find a problem that you can solve. So if you're out there today and you say, I don't know what problem I can solve, if you will go to thrivetimeshow.com and come to one of our workshops. I just talked to a guy this morning, a true story. I won't mention his name because it might sound like a backhanded compliment. But Dave, this guy was a paramedic who showed up at one of my workshops and who had no idea what he wanted to do with his life. And now he has a multi-million-dollar company just because he said, you know what? I don't exactly know what I want to do, but I do know that I need to become self-employed. So that's step number one. Find a problem you can solve. Now, step number two, here we go. You need to build a website.
Yes.
And someone says, well, that's helpful. What do I do? So let's give some examples here. Okay, so we're going to pull up, if we can, Avery, link number 3, peak business valuation. Peak business valuation. So we can pull that up real quick here. Okay, so this is a guy, what he does is he determined that people want to know what their company's worth. You hear people like Elon Musk, that company's worth $1 billion. You hear people like Jack Dorsey when he built X or Twitter. Well, that company's worth $1 billion. But you hear of like a car wash guy. or a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer, what's their company worth? And this particular gentleman, Ryan, the founder of the company, he reached out to me, I think 7 years ago, and he said, I've got this idea where I want to help business owners determine the value of their company so they can qualify for loans, so they can sell the company, so they can include those assets in their will, so they can properly insure them. And he now has a multi-million-dollar company. It's called Peak Business Valuation, and they do nationwide service. So if you need your business to be evaluated, that's a nationwide solution. Now, if we go to link number 1 there, Avery, that's Co-Law Fitness. And Co-Law Fitness, they're a local business. Now, they have 7 different locations, 7 different local gyms throughout these United States. They're in very competitive markets, such as Dallas, Texas, such as Topeka, Kansas. Again, this is a gym. They're competing against huge gym giants like Planet Fitness. But again, they're winning locally, whereas Peak Business Valuation, they're winning nationally. Link number 2 is Make Your Dog Epic. Full disclosure, that's a company that I'm heavily invested in and heavily involved in. It's a company that I've helped to found and start. But again, that's dog training. So whether it's fitness or dog training or business evaluation, or example number 4, lawyers. I know these lawyers, you know these lawyers, and Stacy, I've asked wintersking.com to pay me commissions, but they legally can't do it. And because they're lawyers, they would know. But this is a nationwide law firm. And then example number 5 I want to pull up on the screen for people to see is Papagallo's. This is a restaurant. So, Dave, I know there's somebody watching this who's thinking, I don't know if the moves you're about ready to teach apply to me because I'm in this industry and not that industry, or because I'm in this part of the country and not that part of the country. And before we get into it, Dave, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I really know this is an altruistic, universal system that works for everybody.
We've been to probably 5, maybe 6 of your business conferences, and 2 things always jump out at me. Number 1, by the time the first hour or 2 is over, the first day, I'm like, I could leave now.
Yep.
And this was worth it, and I need to do better at my daily to-do list, and I do it, but I should do better at that. But number 2, the breadth of people in the room. You know, by the first couple hours, you got all these breaks and you mingle and you talk with people. I'll talk to, like the last one, I talked to a plastic surgeon, and I talked to a guy who mows lawns for free but monetizes it on YouTube and gets millions of views. And it's like,
That's true.
And I'm like, okay,
They couldn't be any different.
There's not a lot of rooms where both of those guys would be gaining value from the speaker because they have nothing. They don't look alike, think alike. Their business model's different. But your pathway is identical for dog training, plastic surgeon, lawn mow guy, pool cleaning. And so I know that. And every time I walk away thinking, holy cow, like these guys have nothing to do with each other, and they all are just soaking up value and applying the same pathway that we do with the podcast that someone else does, with the pizza business. So it's fascinating to see that when you got, there's a lady that used to come to him. I've not seen her at a couple. I think she cashed out and sold her business, but she did eyelash extensions.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And
She did cash out into our company, yeah.
And I wouldn't think that would be a huge business. Like everybody already has eyelashes. Why would you start an eyelash business, But apparently it did well, and she was crushing life and pinching herself, and she used to be like, a minimum wage worker, and did really well. So it's just crazy.
Story, this is appropriate. This is a Christian show, but this is a story. People need to know this. I don't know if people know this. Dave, when she first came to our workshop, she says to me, I got a problem. I said, what's the problem? She said, I started an eyelash company, and I got a weird piece of real estate. They say location.
Yeah.
Well, I've been divorced twice, and I have a location that I picked that I signed the lease. And I didn't quite know what I was doing. And I go, well, what do you mean? She said, I share office space with the brothel.
Oh, really?
Oh.
She signed a space, to lease space at a strip center in a shady part of town. And literally, master landlord, I'm being real, the master landlord was running a park in the back kind of business. Oh. And she didn't know. And so I had to help her get out of that lease. That's a true story. And then, there's obviously the wreckage of discovering that you are an employer with 3 or 4 employees, and they have to come to work, and their neighbor is that. I mean, there's the stuff behind the stuff that we talk about at the conferences. And that is, I wish I could tell you her name, but she has done well. But she was like, hey, I got divorced twice. I'm officing in what appears to be a brothel, and I'm not making money.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean,
Where do we start?
Nobody out there is too broken. Okay. So here we go. Here are the 5 steps we want to implement to optimize the website. And I'm going to tap into Colton's brain on this. Social proof. So you go to colawfitness.com. Social proof just means, is there proof from the social community that you are what you say you are? Now, there's a lot of people out there that love the Flyover Conservative show, and there's some people don't because they're not into the conservative thought, right?
Yep.
So what we want to do is we want to gather proof that the Flyover Conservatives is, in fact, the Flyover Conservatives, that Co-Law Fitness is Co-Law Fitness, that I am who I say I am. And so one of the best things that you can do for your business right now, everybody out there doing this, is you want to think today, how can I add proof, social proof, that I am who I say I am? And so what we did with Co-Law Fitness is we teamed them up with Fight for the Forgotten. And I think if you click that link, I think it's an active link. But Colton, Justin Wren, who is the founder of Fight for the Forgotten, they drill wells in third world countries. Why does it, or maybe it doesn't resonate with you, but why does it resonate with some people that Co-Law Fitness, every time that they sell a membership, they invest in the drilling of a well to provide fresh water for people in third world countries? Why does that matter that they teamed up with a frequent Joe Rogan guest, an MMA fighter, Justin Wren, to do this? Why does that impact sales for a gym?
Well, when I'm looking at my expenses every single month, and the gym's on my expenses every single month, and I'm weighing out, did I use the gym? Did I not use the gym? When there's one more thing that's fighting for the gym, like I know those dollars, like it's not just going towards me being a fitter person or not being a fitter person. It's going towards something else. It feels like my dollars have a bigger purpose than just me. So aligning with that, and also from a branding perspective, branding is just associating yourself with other things you want to be associated with. So when my dad always talks about Yeti, we're almost branded with Yeti on this show because he talks about it so much. He's like, it's like this, it's like this, it's like Yeti, it's like Yeti, it's excellence. Because when you see Yeti, it is excellent. Your drink's going to be cold.
This is the Yeti of microphones, right
here.
It's
the Yeti of microphones. Like there's branding, and you're always branding yourself. So when you brand yourself as somebody that's doing something altruistic, that's doing something kind, it's also kind of the savagery of somebody that's been in an MMA ring, and like when you associate your gym with somebody that's altruistic, kind, doing something amazing for people, but then also savage and awesome. That's everything you'd want inside of a gym. And when you put it together for the low price of a no-brainer, such as $7 per month, it kind of makes it this like, man, why would I turn that thing off at $7 per month? The dollars are going towards this awesome thing. Like you combine these things together in a real excellent way. And then from a social proof perspective, when you land on his website and you see people that are having fun, you see the excitement, you see, it makes it so simple to pop on and join.
And I bet you, and I don't exaggerate these numbers, but I bet you if I were to meet with 100 business owners, regardless of industry, 99 do not have social proof in place by default. 99% don't have this. And so social proof could be like as seen on the news. A lot of my clients, when I start with it, they've never been on the news. They've never been in the media. They've never done an interview. And so we help them do that. And then we help them from that position add that content to their website. I'm thinking of one more. I'm trying to give a lot of examples in different parts of the country so it resonates with everybody. Belovedcheesecakes.com. Jen, she's in Oregon. And man, we have really had some wins with her social proof. We've been able to get her on CBN. We got her on the 700 Club. We've got her in local media. But you want to add that to the site. I think you can see her social proof if you click on our story. And if
you scroll down just a little further, Avery, scroll down just a little further. Right there, boom, right in the middle. As seen on Fox News, CBN.
So that's social proof. Now, social proof is what you pray for. Advertisement is what you pay for. Who said that? Michael Levine. That's the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Nike, for Pizza Hut. I paid that guy a lot of money. Michael Levine, PR consultant, quite a guru. Okay, so step number 2 is you want to have testimonials. And Dave, I don't know if you think this way. I don't know. I'm going to go man to man here. We're just mankind here. For me, if I'm taking my wife on a date, my main thing is I just want to make sure that's a low drama, good experience. I really am not wanting to go to a place where she's not going to like the meal. So I do tend to read reviews. I read the worst reviews, the best reviews. I read how I kind of look at my strategy is look for the most reviews, then read the best, then read the worst. Then I kind of make my. Do you even mess with reviews, Dave, or do you care about reviews? Does that matter in your world?
It does, and for me, it matters. Like I always ask for referrals. Like anything I'm doing, if I'm considering doing something, I want to talk to somebody who's already done it or somebody who's already been there, get their advice. How'd you cut the line? I read a book before we went to Disney World with the kids the first time. Like, when's the best time to go? Best time of day? How do you get the line? How do you work the park? Do you go to the back, work to the front? Like, I had this whole strategy. I gamified Disney. We do the same thing with Silver Dollar City. In Branson, I want to get the most from it. So reviews are critical. For me, it's kind of hacked in because Stacy is the review person. Like, she won't hardly eat dinner with me till she checks a couple of reviews.
On you or the restaurant?
On me. On me. Am I the most highest rated, most reviewed husband that she has available, to go to dinner with that night? So it's so built into that even if she gets a recommendation from somebody she knows, loves, and trusts, she's like, "Oh man, thank you for that." And she goes and reads the reviews. Mm-hmm. Like the unbiased reviews of people on a site is almost a make or break deal for Stacy if she's even going to literally
buy the product,
do anything.
Yeah,
whether it's Amazon or go to a business or get her nails done or whatever. It's critical.
And in preparation for today's show, I was having this thought, Stacy, and I want to get your reaction to this because I was thinking, like, if I'm going to share this with the flyover community, it's at the top of mind. How do I break this down and share this with the flyover community? I was talking to one of my clients yesterday who's an accountant in Canada, and he made a comment to me. He said, "Clay, do you know that when we first started talking about 10 years ago, I now make more money in a week than I used to make in a year. Do you know that?" And I go, "What?" Because he said it, and it was like, and it's because, a lot of, it will always be very vague, but a lot of patriots are going through a lot of legal persecution, myself included. He just made the comment. I think he heard or saw somewhere, posted somewhere or something. And so he reached out and just said, "I'm appreciative for you. I thank you for what you've done." And my immediate reaction was, and that's because I'm an entrepreneur and I've been doing this for forever. My thought was, I kind of want to get that on video, because I wouldn't have thought that by default as a non-entrepreneur, but as an entrepreneur, so when you go to thrivetimeshow.com and perhaps your producer can pull it up and you click on the testimonials button, we have legitimately over 2,000 video reviews that we have archived over the years. But even with, reviews of some kind, whether it's on Yelp or Google, having a video testimonial is just powerful, but it's not natural. Stacy, I would not have asked this Canadian guy. I wouldn't think the way I think now unless I'd been teaching it and doing it and living it for 20 years. It's just not natural human behavior to seek out a video testimonial. Why is it that most business owners won't get testimonials by default?
I just think they're too scared to actually ask for it. Maybe they don't even understand the significance or importance of it. But I do think a lot of times they just are too nervous to ask somebody to do that. And then when you go to the next level with video, that's like when somebody does a video review, that means they are very serious because most people do not want to get on camera. So with 2,000 video reviews, that is phenomenal. That's like next level.
I just encourage everybody out there, you can apply these principles. So step 1, social proof. Step 2, get video testimonials or reviews. 3, you want to have a no-brainer. Colton, you mentioned that earlier.
Yep.
A no-brainer is an offer so good, so hot, so amazing that people simply cannot reject the idea. So if you go to drzellner.com, it's DRZOELLNER, longtime partner, friend of mine, drzellner.com. His first pair of glasses are always $99. And that includes the exam. $99.
That's a great deal.
That's a great deal.
If people go to thrivetimeshow.com and they say, well, I went to the whatever conference and it was $8,000 for a VIP ticket, or I went to the whatever conference and it was $2,000 for a VIP ticket. People are always amazed when they go to the Thrive Time Show website and they click on the flyer and they go, VIP's $500, or I can name my price for a general admission. How does that work?
It's a no-brainer.
So good. It's a no-brainer. Make Your Dog Epic, that website I mentioned earlier. The first dog training lesson is 50 cents.
Yep.
Colon Fitness, it's $7 to get started. Colton, we have to, as an entrepreneur, have a no-brainer. But with the pushback that I get when I first work with a client, 100% of the time, by the way, 100% of the time, the entrepreneur will say, but I don't want to cheapen my brand. I want to get too many leads. And I go... That's like the guy who's working out who says, I don't want to get too buff. I don't want to get too bulky. I'm going, trust me, we'll let you know when that happens.
Yeah.
So I want to
You will
So
know.
why do we have to have, as an entrepreneur on our website, some offer that is so hot?
So hot. Well, I mean, when people first, like, there's so much noise today. There's so much going on, and there is so much competition. We are in a more global market. So having something that just catches people's attention right away is an important step. And like you said, with Dr. Z, that $99 deal, that's an incredible deal that gets people in the door, but that's not the end game for him. Like, that's not, now he's done. You know, like they spent $99. Like, he didn't make his millions and millions and millions of dollars off of one person spending $99 one time. There's other services, there's upgrades. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. There's different models that you can do, and there's different ramp ups. And one thing you have to do, you have to figure this out. You have this book, and Dad mentioned at the beginning, you actually give it away for free on your website, which is pretty crazy. On your website, if you go to the thrivetimeshow.com, Who is Clay Clark section, Clay Clark's books, you can get this book, the how to
build a successful business.
Pretty in your face.
Title.
And you have these steps inside this book on exactly what you need to do. First step, you need to establish your revenue. How much do you need to make for your world to work? And you got your break-even numbers. You got all these things. One of the steps is to establish your no-brainer offer. And then you got to build this awesome website. And once you have this set up, like, is this something Dr. Z updates every day? Does he spend a good chunk of his day updating this website? Does he meticulously go through this website? Or now that he's done with it, is he good?
Well, this is a true story, and I'm sure he'll see this show. So, Dr. Z, this one's for you. He actually took time out and almost scheduled them. He doesn't do meetings that are more than about 15 minutes long. He likes to have his meetings be about 14 minutes and he's done. But I remember in one of his more detailed meetings, he was very clear. Team, everybody gather around, huddle around. Here's the deal. I am never, ever, ever going to update my website ever, ever, ever again, ever, unless I do. So please don't ever ask me about it again. And we're going,
come on.
Got it. And it's because the business exists to create time freedom for him.
Yep.
And he thought about it. And that's kind of like our elephant in the room, our haircut chain, eitrlounge.com. The first haircut's $1. It's like, I've really thought about that idea before I offered it. And now I'm not really going to change it.
Yep.
And, you know, inflation might have eroded the value of the dollar. And yeah, the economy changes and there's other competitors. But you want to have a no-brainer that really dominates. There's a plumber, and I want to reference him, but I don't have permission to do it. But there's a plumber that I know of who does free service for the first house call. It's like first call, free quote, for free house call. The first hour's free. And I asked him one time, I said, bro, how often does somebody hire you and it only takes an hour to fix the plumbing problem? And he goes, 100% of never, ever. But, you know, it's, you know, you got a plumbing leak and they go, the first hour is free or the first hour and a half, whatever the promotion is. You got to have a but he gets all the calls.
Yeah.
He gets all the calls. Good. Other no-brainers you can do. I'm just thinking out loud to help somebody out there. These are just things that I have on checklists that we can go over. But one is just be open more than the competition.
Yep.
Z's open 7 days a week. I'm not saying you should. I'm open 6 days a week with my companies, but that's a no-brainer. Just being the only one that's available, and it's $99.
Yep.
You know, for the Koloff Fitness, the idea that you're, you know, again, it's $7 for your gym membership. You're going, what? It's a hot deal. You think about Winter's King Law Firm. I'm not sure what their no-brainer is today because I don't stay. They're one of our clients, but I don't work with them directly. We have another consultant that works with them daily. But you know, they used to do these free legal consultations, and other lawyers would go, "How can somebody possibly afford to do a free 1 hour consult?" And Dave, I would like to get your thoughts on this. Why do you as an entrepreneur not want to take advantage of a free 1 hour consultation and make it an 8 hour consultation with a lawyer? I mean, why would you? I mean, because people have that fear that their no-brainer is going to somehow rise up and attack them. But why is it that was a good no-brainer for a law firm to do a free consultation?
Well, for one thing, it's kind of like when I first got married, I was in furniture sales. I had a manager tell me, he said, everybody that walks into this furniture store is buying furniture in the next 30 to 60 days. He goes, by the time you come in, you're looking at sofas. It's a conversation in your home.
Somebody just doesn't do that for fun.
You don't just go do that randomly when you have no need for it whatsoever. Everybody that comes into the furniture store is buying furniture within that tight window, probably this weekend or next weekend. And you know, it's kind of the same thing. If you're in a situation where you need to talk to an attorney, you're probably in a tight spot. If you lean into that conversation, you get into their web. If they can build trust, then they're your person always going forward. But they're probably not going in to just shop you and check you out and they're randomly, maybe 10 years from now, I'll need someone. They're probably in a situation where they're going to then engage and schedule a lot of hours. And that's where they make their money. on the back end.
I've never heard anybody mention the furniture store story, but that is so true.
It's
so
so true.
And I just, I mean, to hammer home what you said and to just to continue to validate that from a platform and scream and yell and get on a megaphone and rant and rave about how great of a quote that was. For anybody out there, I don't know if people know this, but like when I work with used car dealerships or new cars dealerships or furniture stores or jewelry stores, we have found that the business owner that reaches the lead first wins.
Yeah.
You know, whatever data you have, they normally win 8 or 9 out of 10 times. It's like they win 80% of the time, 90% of the time. I don't have the hard data there. I can just tell you that clients that decide to reprioritize getting a hold of their leads right away, you can usually double or triple your conversion rate by just being the first person and the most aggressive. Now, step number 4, call to action. Back to the furniture store, back to any business you have. You got to have a call to action. You got to go, hey, now that you're here, you know, would you like to buy this or that? Now that you're on, I'm going to give you an example. Now that you're on papagallos.com, you know, do you want to go ahead and order? You got to make a button easy to make the online order. Don't make people work too hard to find the online order button. If you go to make your dog, there you go, Papa Gallows. Don't make it too hard to order something or to get in contact with them or to buy the thing. You see, order now. It's flashing. It's pulsing. If you go to Elephant in the Room, eitrlounge.com. I had an employee last week that pointed out to me that we have the same call to action button on the website on the homepage. I think 5 times, and they were like, "Clay, do you recognize if you click text to book?" or book online, or $1 first haircut, or start here? They're all variations of the same thing. And I'm going, I think we need more buttons that say because
we need arrows that point. That you need flashing arrows that point. Yeah.
Click here.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't know what to do. So let's go to thrivetimeshow.com and we can criticize myself here. But I'm always letting people know about our conferences. But Dave, you know one of the most commonly asked questions we get is, when's the next conference?
Giant countdown clock.
Dude, I got a countdown here. People say, where can I request tickets? We put ours at the top right there to request tickets. We have a button, if you scroll down just a little bit, where you can schedule a free consultation with myself. And I try to make it really obvious, but even still, objectively looking at it, I'm not kidding, probably once or twice a day.
And you said social proof earlier in this crowd. Obviously, you got Koloff standing right next to you here, but you have Eric Trump on your background here. Robert Kiyosaki's here. I mean, you got a room full of entrepreneurs. I think I'm in here somewhere. I'm right back here, right back there. So you got social proof right there on the landing page when people come to your website. And then you have Eric Trump with his quote. You got Robert Kiyosaki with his quote. People can hit the play button. They can hit the play button. Thousands of success stories. When you very first land on the page, the testimonials button is like on fire. Like literally, I don't think you could make it more obvious that you want people to click on that than that. Because when people land on your site, and I would encourage everybody, go to thrivetimeshow.com. And if you're here and you're listening to this show and something's kind of stirring up inside you, you're the teacher and you're like, I've always wanted to start a business. I want to own my own time. I want to make my own schedule. I want to have my own thing. I'll promise you this. If nothing changes, the next 5 years will look just like the last 5 years.
Yep.
Whatever the last 5 years looked like for you. You know, if you're a business owner and you're like, I am up to my hilt. I'm tired of this. I don't have this. Payroll is always tight every other week. If nothing changes, that's what it's going to look like 5 years from now. If something changes today, the next 5 years can look different than the last 5 years. And one of the biggest differences, I think, you can ask anybody on that testimonial section. If you're like, yeah, but he doesn't know how to do this. He wouldn't know what to do with a podcast. He's a local business guy. Well, he turned around our podcast. We're really thankful for it. You know, if you're like, hey, he doesn't know how to do this. This is a unique thing. This is this. This is this. If you solve a problem and you bring a solution to the marketplace, Clay Clark can help you with it. And thrivetimeshow.com is the place to go to get into his world. He gives away free books. He's got a no-brainer offer on his conferences. And then if you want to just skip right to the front of the line and be like, this is for me, he is talking to me. He might as well have just said John Smith because he is talking to me right now. On the homepage here is that 13-point assessment where he'll literally, for free, assess your business. So go in and they'll actually look at your business. And there's 13 points that he needs to look over and see, where are the weak spots in your business? Like a mechanic that comes in and looks at the car. What's this? He'll actually assess your business and look at the website. He'll look at this, the lead flow, the outflow, the sales, the expenses. Like he'll go through whatever could possibly be going wrong with your car, assess it, and then draw up a plan for you. Calls it an agenda. It's on a Google Doc to draw out this whole thing. And I'm telling you guys, the next 5 years can look dramatically different than the last 5 years, but it takes an action from you today, and the action is to go to thrivetimeshow.com.
Well, the interesting thing about working with Clay, because people ask me about it a lot, you know, people at Reawaken events and different things. I'm like, well, for one thing, if it's not a win for Clay, he's not going to do it with you if it's not a fit.
If it's not a win for you, he's not going to do it
because he's not going. He's not looking for friends.
Nope.
He's it's not show friends, it's show business, and you only really profit if the company grows.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not a timeshare pitch. It's got to be a win-win that reciprocates. Otherwise, you're not wasting your time.
Well, Dave, I will say this, and then again, before we get into the final point, I want to hammer this home real quick. Yesterday, I talked to a guy, true story. He's one of your listeners. I should be talking to him again on Monday. He lives in Ardmore, Oklahoma. See if you can follow this story. He has a pest control company, and he's on a church board. Okay. And he called me, and I said, so you want to grow your pest control company? And no, I want to grow the church. And he knows, and he was sitting at the conference next to other pastors, and he told me, he talked to 3 different pastors who were at the conference, and they were like, yeah, we've tripled our church size. And we've worked with these guys for a long time. And so whether you're a church.
That's awesome.
It's totally doable. But you say, well, why am I doing a follow-up call with the guy? Because I told him, I said, pray about it, form a committee about it, think about it. There's no hard closes here. We don't want to work with someone unless we can work with you in a sustainable way to help you grow your company. We don't apologize for charging $1,700 a month. It is, our average client is with us for 6 years or longer. It is month to month. But, I want you to think about it. And this guy could not be more excited to get going and grow in his church. And these principles we're going over today would apply just to him as well. And the final, this is step 5, and this really connects with church people, of which I consider myself to be church people. It's first-class branding is needed, not who you know. Now, the person you know could be a world-class designer. That's cool. But usually most people are going, you know what? I'm going to have my website built by that guy. And you go, why is that guy? Because he's in the room, and he's also the janitor, and he's my brother-in-law. And so a lot of websites look really bad.
Yep.
And therefore people think that the service is really bad.
Yes.
And so I want to brag on some clients that are really, really figuring this out. Kolaw Fitness, I remember Charles Kolaw, he came to me with great confident humbleness. And he just said, hey, look, we got kolawfitness.com. We built it the best we can. We're competing against Planet Fitness. And we're totally coachable, approachable. What do we need to do? Man, that's a great heart posture to start at. That's a great place to be at. Make Your Dog Epic. Again, full disclosure, I am a partner with that, but JT Lawson runs all of Oklahoma. And if you go to makeyourdogepic.com, he is really doing a great job. He's working minor league baseball games, professional sporting events, professional hockey events.
Great kid.
He's really putting in the energy into building his brand. He is gathering objective reviews from real customers. On his YouTube channel, he's putting out a video testimonial now about every 24 hours on the Make Your Dog Epic YouTube channel, which you can't fake anyway. So you go to YouTube and you look for Make Your Dog Epic, you'll see he's putting out video testimonials. He's really dialing in. But when it comes to branding, he's going, what do I need to do to build a first-class brand? So he's embraced the auto wrap. He embraced the website. Look at the testimonials. He is just really pouring his energy into this. So if you're watching today's show, I would ask you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, not as a person, but as a website, with 10 being the highest and 1 being the worst. And just ask yourself, 10, am I generating a lot of leads? Is my website creating wealth for me, income, leads, revenue opportunities? 1 is, well, my website is not ever creating leads. Or this just in, I don't have a website. I talked to one of your listeners this week, Dave, and he may turn into a great client. He's a home builder who, again, I don't know, I haven't seen his numbers. He claims to be doing $14 million a year of revenue, and he doesn't have a website at all.
Wow.
So that could be a huge change for him.
It's a unicorn.
Yeah.
He's built 28 houses a year without a website.
Wow.
28. And I'm going, wow. So again, for somebody out there, if you need a checkup from the neck up, if you need a call to action to change your business, if you're looking to just elevate the way you think, if you want to change your life, you want to make more money, if you want to make your wallet great again, or maybe make your wallet great for the first time, I would encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com, and when you go there, you can click on the testimonials. But if you use promo code FLYOVER when you request your tickets, we have ongoing conferences with Tim Tebow and Eric Trump. Our next conference featuring Eric Trump is going to be September 25 and 26, so September 25th and 26th, right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. If you use promo code FLYOVER, you have a chance to win a backstage pass so you can meet the speakers, and you get a discount off of those VIP tickets. Again, that's use promo code FLYOVER. You say, well, how much are the tickets? They're $500 for a VIP, but if you use promo code FLYOVER, you get a discount, or they're $250 or whatever price you can afford or whatever price you choose to pay for the general admission tickets. And then also, if you're looking for one-on-one business consulting or business coaching, I do all the assessments myself, and you can schedule a free consultation today by going to thrivetimeshow.com. But in all scenarios, make sure you use promo code FLYOVER because you get a discount, and it's also a great way to support this this wonderful broadcast. And Dave, I really appreciate you letting us kind of shift gears a little bit here and talk business on your broadcast, because I know everybody out there who's watching your show, they want to make America great again.
Come on.
And I think we also need to make our wallets great again, or maybe great for the first time. And so I just really appreciate you guys providing this platform and this opportunity to hopefully encourage and empower your listeners.
We love it.
This is what it's about. 100% is Americans doing better, getting healthier, having their kids doing better in school, having their families do better, having their marriages do better, having their finances do better. I mean, all of those things are what's critical, because you can sit and be enraged about global politics all day long, but if your life's falling apart, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. You got to get it together. So I love what you bring to the table. Clay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you. And by the way, Dave, no extra branding is needed for you. You're just a beautiful man with your face bigger on the website.
You're really
Thank
nice.
you guys.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
4,000% from February to February. Now I can better that. Okay, Clay, I don't think you know this. I don't think you know this. I'm pinching myself, and if I cry, forgive me. In the last 2.5 days, we have bettered our entire month of February in the last 2.5 days. So, and the phone's blowing up. Everything's just blowing up. You're right. It is like a rocket ship. So we're pinching ourselves, actually.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York, acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
But I recognized at the age of 15, I'm going, you know what? I am not going to live that way. And so I started a company out of my parents' basement called djconnection.com. And I decided I am going to have success. And so I reached out to millionaires and people that I kind of knew through church and friendships and parents of my friends. And I said, what book would you recommend that I read? I'm a 15-year-old asking this question. True story. And I kept being told, you got to read.
Hello, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Radio Show. It's an exciting time. Also, I think a treacherous time, a spooky time also. But it's always, danger is a good time. Today, my guest is Clay Clark, and I went out with Tom Wheelwright to visit Clay with Eric Trump also. And the reason I want to talk to Clay this morning is a very important subject called study. And the reason I say that is things are changing so fast, and many people are completely missing the show. Things are changing at rapid speed. Technology is changing. And so I went to Tulsa, again, with Tom Wheelwright and Eric Trump. And the thing I was so impressed about Clay is this word called study. I don't know, you guys must be in your water or something, Clay, but boy, I was so impressed how big you guys are. But what really impressed me was you have this huge congregation. They're all about guys your age. They're on fire. And you start your classes at 5 a.m. Now, let me talk to you about study here. We show our books here. Now, this is how I study. This is The Creature from Jekyll Island. It's on the Fed. And Clay's doing the same thing. We study. So I go out to Clay's place in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's built this huge compound out there. And you guys start at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's not by Zoom. They drive there. They show up 5 o'clock, bright-haired, bushy-tailed and all this. And they're on fire. Your group is on fire. So that's what was on Clay, this technology. You tell your group, I was so impressed. Because, like I said, studies became a bad word. I got into fights in my own company because our staff didn't want to study anymore. And I don't know how they cannot do that. So, Clay, anyway, welcome to the Rich Dad Radio Show. That's what I want to talk to you about, is how do you do it? 5 o'clock in the morning, you have hundreds of people showing up in your huge auditorium on your property to study. Anyway, welcome to the show, Clay, and what turns you on so much? That's what I want to know. Give us a little about your background.
My name is Karime Schofield, and the name of our company is Whistle While You Clean.
I am Sophia Schofield.
We live in Cincinnati, Ohio, and we service the tri-state, so Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana.
We were getting a phone call and we were like, why is someone calling our business line? That's unusual. And we picked it up and it was a lead.
I mean, it's been incredible, Clay. We've gone from 0 to like 100% growth. Like we're like a full functioning company. It's great. Like we're blown away at how well we're doing. So working with you guys have really taught us a lot about generating leads and pursuing our Dream 100. So we have a list of customers that we want to market to. And so we've been making phone calls, we've been showing up in person. We're trying to get near the businesses that they would visit if they were visiting like a hair salon or something. And then we start calling them and we just start pursuing them. And then the other thing that we do is when we do cleans, we take a lot of video testimonials and we post those to our website so other customers can see. And then we also upload a lot of images of the things that we do. And so we're also asking our clients for Google reviews after we've cleaned their houses. And so it's this constant like cycle of doing those things over and over and over again. I would say if you're on the fence, go to one of Clay's conferences. They are hilarious, they're fun, they're educational. They're so good that even my teenagers like them. And I would say don't let fear hold you back. If you want to start a business, do the obvious thing and hire someone who knows how to run businesses. If I wanted to get in shape, I'd hire a gym person, a personal trainer. This is like the personal training for business. It has been absolutely amazing. I mean, our coach is encouraging. When he first met with us, he said, do we want him to be like a drill sergeant with us? What level of intensity do we want him to give us? And I will say he is incredibly encouraging all the time, and he just hits the same mark with us every single time. It's very repetitive, but I think we both really learn a lot every time we sit down and have a conversation with him over the phone. He keeps pushing us to go further, and he can recognize when we're afraid to do something and he'll give us a little bit of grace, but that next week he's drilling us again, like pushing us to go harder. Our no-brainer offer is we are offering your first clean for $1. And that sounds absolutely insane. It even sounded insane when I was talking over it with our business coach. And I will tell you that that has generated some of our hugest clients. I mean, that has been like a game changer because it opened up the door to more clients, more recommendations, more leads. And we were surprised how far that dollar clean got us.
How important has it been for you to work out that scripting, even though you offer $1 for the first clean? How important has it been for you to nail that down?
It's been really important because it kind of it hones in so that you're not just all over the place when you're trying to explain what it is that you do. And a lot of times it's like you're a good person offering a good product and you have integrity and you want to communicate that. But when you go to communicate without a script or without practice, it's just like a mess coming out of your mouth, as opposed to having this, honed in practice where you know what you're going to say, you know how you're going to say it, and you can almost expect better results when you do it that way.
Had you ever been an entrepreneur before starting this particular business?
No, never.
Did you ever think about wanting to own your own business someday? Or what was the first time you thought, maybe I would like to open my own business?
Absolutely. I've probably been dreaming about it for about 10 years.
Okay, and let me go to your daughter here. Had you ever thought about wanting to team up and open your own business? Or was that something that you were maybe excited about or not so much?
Well, for me, my parents would always listen to your podcast and business podcast. And as I started listening to them, I started realizing that I wanted to own a business.
It's www.whistlewhileyouclean.com. Honestly, the hardest thing was getting over the fear. It was the fear of the unknown. there was like a cloud of doubt that, you can't do this, you're gonna fail. There was a few sleepless nights there when we did pull the trigger and join your team and start the coaching process. Even my husband put a little bit of pressure on me from time to time because it was just absolutely scary to take that jump and actually start a business.
Whoa.